Hi, everyone. My name's Heather Braun, and I'm the marketing and social media person for.
And I'm your host, Trisha.
And I'm your other host, Wes. And I want to really thank you for coming on tonight, Heather. Jeepapalooza is a BC charity event over in Vancouver Island, and it's a fundraiser for Cancer BC. And really excited to talk to you about this for a number of reasons. I've heard absolutely wonderful things about Jeepapalooza. But before we hop into that, I want to just do a little bit of housekeeping. I want to give a shout out to one of our affiliates, Bright Source Lighting. If you guys haven't checked them out, they got some new lights coming out. Really exciting. Check out their website at brightsource.ca, as well as Bright Source on Instagram. And remember that you get a 15% discount with the code 4x4 Canada. Last week, we had Tony on from Rux Life, which I know is a sponsor of yours, Heather. I saw that on the website, and he recognized the event. We were talking about it, and he was quite excited about it. But yeah, Rux and their storage system, or the storage box, they got a lot of really neat products. Definitely recommend listen to the episode last week, but also go over to the website at rux.life and check out the videos. That's the easiest way to explain these storage boxes, because I can't do it. It's a visual thing. And Tony, even though he's the engineer, it's easier to go to the videos and see them there. So next week, we have a couple of guys coming on from Trails for Tomorrow, and that is the association in Alberta that is working to keep the trails open for the four-wheel drive community, as well as the quad community. They've gone through some major changes over the last 3 months, something like that. And we're going to talk about that. They've got some new ideas for membership, and they're really working together with other organizations like hiking clubs and horse clubs, etc., to strengthen those relationships and work together in preserving the trails that you guys all use in Alberta. So that's going to be a really good episode. I'm really looking forward to that because Alberta has really needed a voice for a long time. In BC, we have the Four-Wheel Drive Association of BC, and in Ontario, we have the Ontario Federation of Four-Wheel Drive Clubs, and they have done a wonderful job for the last 30, 40 years. But Alberta is really needing a group like this. So Trails for Tomorrow coming up next week. Check it out. In the meantime, we are talking to Heather from Jeepapalooza. Heather, thanks for coming on tonight. Really appreciate it.
Heather, thanks so much for having me.
So, and I'll let you explain it a bit better than I can, but Jeepapalooza is a charity event based in Vancouver Island in British Columbia that has been going on since 2014. And like I mentioned earlier, I haven't attended it, but I've heard all kinds of wonderful things about it from a lot of people that have attended it, both on the island and off the island. People are driving down from 100 Mile House and from all over BC to attend this event. And I also know that you have raised a huge amount of dollars for the BC Cancer over the years. So what is Jeepapalooza?
So Jeepapalooza, like you mentioned before, it's turned into a bit of a festival. In a nutshell, it's a family-friendly wheeling, camping, charity event. There's camping, guided wheeling, entertainment. And like you mentioned, we've, over the last 9 years, this is actually our 10th anniversary, but to date, we've raised over $175,000 for the BC Cancer Foundation. Yeah, so that's a really big achievement that the group's been able to do. And it's just, there's prizes, there's raffles, there's vendors. It's just an overall really great time.
That's incredible. 175, you said? $175,000? Is that what you said? $175,000. Is that what you said that you guys have raised?
$175,000, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm going to throw it out there. As a personal thank you, my mother's going through breast cancer right now, and she's doing good. She's in radiation and in Kelowna right now, and she's all going to be good. And my father passed away from brain cancer a number of years ago. But everybody has been affected by cancer in one way or another. And we all know somebody that we've lost, or we all know somebody has luckily survived. And we're getting more and more survivors over the years. But thanks to organizations like yours, $175,000 over 10 years, that's huge. That's massive. And I know that you work closely with the hospital in Comox. And from my understanding, you guys have done work with them in regards to some of the funds going there. But personally, as a thank you to you guys, because BC Cancer is a great organization, and they still need all the help they can get.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as we mentioned earlier, it's a festival. It's got lots of stuff going on. But I want to actually start with, it's not just Jeeps anymore.
It is.
Opened it
I
up.
personally drive a Toyota. So
Oh, there we are. We're best friends
Yeah.
now.
That's right. It's okay. We have a Jeep as well. We have one of each. So,
So yeah, a couple of years ago, you guys opened it up to all vehicles, which I think is a wonderful idea. But it started off as or I guess the main focus of it is still the trail rides, right? And the trail rides, are they just a Forest Service road, or do you have some harder trails, a mixture of trails going on over there?
yeah, we do. We actually have a bit of everything. This year, we're introducing actually more like an overland kind of route as well. But we've got basically something for everybody, whether you drive a stock Cherokee or a fully built rock crawler. There's rock obstacles, there's tight treat areas, there's something we call the rock gardens. Basically, if you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, there's no bias here. There's something for everybody. It's just the trails in this area are like a really like a hidden gem, and we're happy to share those with people that come to our events. Yeah.
And we should mention that the event is out of Comox, which is mid-island. But wait, you're what? Let's try that again. You're about an hour or so above Nanaimo. Was that about right?
Yeah, that's correct. We're based out of Comox Valley, actually in Courtenay itself.
Okay.
And yeah, you're correct. It's about an hour and a half, depending on which ferry you take over from the mainland, north of that. So it's beautiful. I've been here for 7 years now, and I can't imagine being anywhere else.
That's beautiful. Now, we did mention, I should have mentioned earlier that you guys are online at jeepapaloozabc.com, as well as Jeepapalooza BC on Instagram and Facebook. And we'll throw those in the show notes, as well as all our social media nods as well.
Yeah.
What we're talking earlier off air, and you guys have done really well on the numbers this year. As of right now, we are on March 6th. This is going to be coming out on April 11th. So I'm sure the numbers will be up since then. But you mentioned that you've only got about 25% left of your tickets to sell.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
what is your cap?
Right. Typically, we cap it at about 250 registrants, like vehicle and driver tickets. That's just to make sure that our trails runs aren't too overcrowded and things like that. And we can run a really smooth, well-organized event with a group like that. Yeah, this year we're capping it at 250 vehicles and drivers. And then, of course, passengers that come along with that as well. We're expecting probably upwards of 700 people that'll attend this event.
That is so cool. So you've got a number of different trails, right? So what would the average trail run be for a number of participants?
Like the number per trail?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. So we try, it's an organized event. If anyone's been to any other kind of organized event where there's trail runs, it's not you and a couple friends off in the forest by yourselves. So we typically try to keep it about 20 per trail, and we stagger starts, and we've got a trail network all over the place so that we don't cross paths and everything like that. And at that number and the trail system that we have organized, things do flow actually quite well through there. And that's just been an effort that we've made to keep those numbers down and have some really amazing trail guides and things like that. And that's typically what we see out there on the trails.
That's not bad, because I was actually envisioning more, to be honest with you. And to keep it down under 20 or 30, that 20 is a great number. I was a trail guide for the Tops Off for Tata event here in Kamloops. We had up to 1 year, we had 68 vehicles on one run.
Oh my gosh.
That was just that was just a nightmare to organize and keep everybody flowing. And
and I know a lot of people don't like those organized runs for that reason, because oh my gosh, it's just a traffic jam out there. But we do our best to eliminate that as much as possible.
And as a reminder, this is all volunteer run too, right?
It is 100% volunteer run.
Work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of people and all the events and prizes and the giveaways and just keeping everyone together. That's amazing. Your team's
we have a really amazing team spread out throughout the island. We've got people down in Duncan. We've got people here up north in Campbell River, and everyone's extremely dedicated to making this thing happen. And it definitely wouldn't happen without volunteers. Yeah.
So we never mentioned the date, May long weekend.
Mhm.
That is a great weekend for people to go out and explore. Usually the weather down in that area is usually pretty good, unless you get a little bit of rain. You're used to rain on the island sometimes. So,
We are. Yeah.
so it starts off on the Friday night, right? Or Friday
Correct.
afternoon, I
Yes.
say. People show up
Yeah.
and explain how the rest of the weekend rolls out from there.
Yeah. So like you said, people show up on the Friday. They're basically getting in and getting set up at camp most of Friday. It's festival style camping. So people roll in with their friends and find a spot to camp and set up there. We've got some entertainment planned for Friday night, and there's trail signups. And then, Saturday morning, everyone's out hitting the trails. That evening, people come back. There'll be some more entertainment. There'll be vendors. There'll be raffle prizes, or live auction, actually. And raffles. And it's just, and then again, Sunday basically is the same thing as well. So it's a jam-packed weekend. There's tons of stuff going on. There's a barbecue on the Saturday night that's included in everyone's tickets as well. So
Nice.
it's super fun. Anywhere you turn, there's stuff going on site. There's stuff going on the trails. It's lots of stuff going on.
So let's talk about Friday night. I know you got something happening on Friday night this year that's new. Want to explain what's going on
Yes.
Friday night party?
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to kick off our 10th anniversary event in the right ways. We've organized a local DJ who's actually going to be coming and setting up on the main stage of our event. And we're calling it a glow party. So you can imagine like glow sticks and neon clothes and lights and music. And it's, just basically a big outdoor kickoff party. And we're very excited about it. And that's just to, get things rolling on Friday night. And I think it's going to be a pretty good time.
That's fun.
Awesome. Sounds fun for sure. So,
Yeah.
Kid friendly, right? Your event?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's family friendly. There's people who've been bringing their kids since day one, and it's definitely for everybody.
It's neat to see the kids grow over the years so they have to keep on attending. So eventually they'll be in their own vehicles at this event. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my daughter keeps saying she's going to take our Jeep when she's old enough. So, doesn't want my truck. She wants the Jeep. Yeah.
Wants the Jeep?
Yeah.
People sign up. Where do they go to get tickets and get more information? And how do they sign up for the event?
Oh, yeah. Great question. So tickets are available on our website, which I know you're going to be linking somewhere in your notes. So they're available online on our website. People can get information there. And also, of course, on our Facebook and Instagram pages as well. There's more info. But all registrations happen through our website.
How much are we looking at for the tickets?
For a vehicle and driver, so per vehicle and driver combo, it's $150. And per passenger, it's $20. And that includes the entire weekend. So that's on-site camping, the barbecue on Saturday, the guided trails, access to all the vendors. And did I say the barbecue? I said the barbecue. It's going to be good. Yep. That's why I said it twice. And every driver actually gets a swag bag as well upon entry. So lots jammed into those tickets.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a reasonable price, especially you get that barbecue dinner in there and there's just so much other stuff going on. Very reasonable price, I thought. So
I definitely think so, yeah.
So what is your favorite part about Jeepapalooza?
I love the trails. Like they're in my backyard, and any chance I can get out to do those is amazing. But honestly, I think my favorite part about this particular event is the community and that sense of seeing it like that kind of festival style. Everyone's there for such an amazing cause. They're seeing old friends, they're seeing new friends. It's just in a really amazing atmosphere, and everyone coming together for this cause and doing something we all love. It's just, I don't know, it's just a really amazing vibe there and a really pretty amazing feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see friends from previous years coming, and then there's new people showing up. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of people that come over from the mainland as well, too, right? I know a few people from the coast. I got a friend up in 100 Miles. She comes down every year, and there's a real big following. And do you know who has traveled the farthest to come to Jeepapalooza? That's a good question.
I know off the top of my head. We always have a prize for the person that travels the farthest. That's a good question. There are some people we actually met down in the States over some of our travels that actually might be coming up here from Nevada. So but I don't know. We'll have to report back on who the farthest one is for this year.
No worries. No worries. Go ahead, Trisha. So it looked
My
like you
brain
had a
is
thought in your
thinking.
head.
My brain is, it's thinking and then it's gone. So, no, because I was thinking that too. I was thinking, like, I wonder where the furthest person is. Is it only BC people that go? Maybe people from Alberta? But if there's any
Yeah,
others that come across that, or that'd be cool to
I
know.
think the people definitely have come from Alberta. I think we had some people from Saskatchewan and back east. And sometimes if we got a few extra tickets or people traveling around, and they'll just come and buy a ticket if they can. And yeah, definitely people from the States. And it's a little bit isolated over here on the island. So it's like a good excuse for people that I'm going to make a trip out of this. I'm going to go to the island. I'm going to experience Comox Valley and everything that we have here. So yeah, we definitely have people from all over that come to this event, and people down in the States that I wouldn't even have thought I bumped into or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. And I'm like, wow, okay. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And that's one thing I think I know a few people that do that. They go over a few days early and they come back home a few days late. Part of that's to avoid the whole ferry rush on a May long weekend, but also to enjoy the rest of the area, or maybe pop over to Long Beach or whatever, or go farther up north or down to Victoria. So you can definitely make a nice week out of it if you can get an extra few days off. And as I mentioned, that way you can also avoid the whole ferry situation.
That's right. Yeah.
But as long as you reserve ahead of time, hopefully you'll be okay.
That's the trick. Definitely reserve that ferry, get a couple extra days, check out the ocean. Yeah, go West Coast, North, wherever. There's stuff everywhere here, no matter where you look.
That whole valley, the whole Comox Valley, must absolutely love seeing all these vehicles show up, all these Jeeps and all these trucks show up. And not only is it a great fundraiser for Cancer BC, but it's also a great fundraiser for the local businesses as well, too, right? You're getting 700 people in, or 500 vehicles, or whatever it is, into those small town. I just think that it's got to be a huge economical boost to the town as well. Have you found that the town really comes through and supports you guys as well?
Yeah, we definitely have such an amazing support from our community here. People love it. Most people that I talk to when we're talking to possible vendors or fundraisers or things like that, they're like, oh yeah, we know who you guys are. Like, we love it. Our partner again this year is Comox Valley Dodge, and they're a huge part of the community in this whole area. And we're so grateful for them. And it's like people wave at you. It's like that Jeep wave. But even if you don't have a Jeep, they're just like so amazed. There's trails of Jeeps driving around all over the place. And definitely so much to enjoy here. And the people that do come get to experience that. And then, like you said, yeah, definitely feeds into the local economy here too, which is really great.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine how many gallons of gas are sold there, especially with Jeeps.
That's right. Yeah, I'd say that's the biggest economic driver when that event's here, for sure.
So, speaking about Jeeps, on the Saturday, I may be wrong on this, but isn't that Take Your Tops Off Day, International Take Your Tops Off Day? The Saturday of your event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Barricade Go Topless Day. So that's May 18th. And it's a worldwide kind of event that is comprised of lots of other events all over the world. And we're one of them. And they're fundraiser events for local community and causes. And it's an opportunity for people to like welcome spring, even though spring technically starts before it. But we encourage everybody to participate in that because, our event is one of those. If you got a Jeep, take it off. If you got a Toyota, keep your shirt on. And we'll celebrate that. And we're very excited to be a part of that this year too.
What are some of your favorite vehicles that show up from out of town? There's a wide variety of vehicles, but you got to have some favorites.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who love like the rock crawler rigs, the really bare bones, do it all kind of rigs. But then the other half of me is like the overland kind of thing. There's some amazing builds that are part of our event. They have to be street legal technically to be a part of our event, but there's some incredibly built buggies that come. There's full on huge overlander type things as well. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'd have a really hard time picking a favorite. I'm one of those people that loves it all. I've got two sides of one coin. Yep. Yeah.
Those have been a few videos out about your events, and I've watched quite a few of them over the years as I'm longing to head over there. And I know KC250 or 250 has done a couple of videos of your events, and he is a strong supporter. So I do recommend, if our listeners hop onto YouTube, not Google, search for Jeepapalooza BC, and you'll see a lot of videos up there, but especially the KC250 videos. He's done some really wonderful ones. And I know one year he didn't drive. He hopped into somebody else and was able to get some really good coverage and give a really good idea of the trails that are out there and available. And as you mentioned, they're a mixture of trails from hard to not so hard. But yeah, if people are looking for more, hey, what's this all about? Hop onto YouTube. They got some really good videos out there from a number of people.
Absolutely. Casey's been coming to our event for basically since he's had a Jeep. He's really been supportive of it. Yeah, taking video and mentioning things like that. And we've actually been working with him this year and trying to get some contacts and things like that. So his support is really very greatly appreciated. So yeah, KC250, he's got lots of great video of our trails and stuff like that. We don't personally have a tube for our event at this time, but yeah, there's definitely lots of content out there, the local trails. So
it's not like you have anything else to do.
No. Go swim in the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, you got no other work to do for preparing an event or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about any of your sponsors or affiliates of the event that you have helping you guys out with prizes and giveaways?
Sure. So we have some amazing prizes this year. Lots of amazing sponsors. Like I had mentioned earlier, our partners again this year is Comox Valley Dodge, and they've been absolutely instrumental to making our event a success. And we are so grateful for that. Casey's been supporting us and like helping us with some of his contacts, like I mentioned as well, and some really great content and stuff. But we're going to list all of our donors and sponsors and things like that on our website as well. So please don't take it personally if I don't mention some of them, but we've got prizes from like Metal Cloak, Baja Design, Rough Country. We've got like tire inflation systems. We've got lift kits. We've got control, like amazing the amount of prizes that we have that are raffle items or just general prizes. And we've got like trips and tickets to shows. And it's just incredible how supportive our sponsors have been. And we're so super grateful. So definitely go check out what you might be able to see on our website. Tons of local vendors as well. We've got like local restaurants and like I mentioned, events and all kinds of stuff going on. So we got vendors like local artisan vendors coming. We've got Lord Co's coming as a vendor. I can't possibly name them all. It's actually quite overwhelming. So yes.
Yeah, a lot. So check out the website, find out those vendor prizes, giveaways, and all the lists. Because sounds amazing.
It sounds like you have a lot of wonderful prizes and a lot of wonderful supporters, but that's not even part of it. I shouldn't say it's not part of it, but it's a great reason to go. But there's so many other wonderful reasons. When you throw those prizes on top, that's just like gravy on top, right?
Absolutely.
You have to, those vendors or those supporters are people that you definitely want to appreciate. And I do recommend that to anybody that goes to any of the events, whether it's a BC Overland Rally or the Overland North event or any events like that, as somebody that has donated to these kind of events before in the past, it's always incredible and super surprising when you actually get a thank you from the person that has won a prize. To get a personal thank you, it's really surprising. It just makes it worth. It's hey, they do recognize big ideas. So if you do happen to win a prize at Jeepapalooza or any of these other events, it's worth a quick phone call or an email or come up to the person and shake their hand and say thank you for supporting this event, because these people that are behind these organizations, they're doing it because for the love of the event and the love of the sport. And it does cost them money to do this. Just my little toss out to thank everybody that if you do happen to win a prize, to thank the vendor for that.
Thank you for saying that. Like we work really hard to get this stuff because it helps support our cause, of course, which is the BC Cancer Foundation. But so many of the people we reach out to, even if they're huge companies, are like, this hits home for me. I'm going to support this because it means something to me. And that's all the more reason for anyone, that does win something or gets a prize or whatever, to definitely encourage people to reach out and thank them, because we're all just people behind this thing, and it does go a long way.
And another thank you I think needs to go out to, and I'm sure you hear it throughout the event, but needs to go out to the Jeepapalooza organization. It is a bunch of volunteers putting in a ton of time, and to put on an event like this. I have done events like this, and I know how much time goes into it and how much stress it can be and all that stuff. And so to pull off events of this caliber, or even smaller events, but especially of this caliber, that is a ton of volunteer hours. And so I really want to thank you guys, and I hope that when the people go to Jeepapalooza or other events, that they do recognize and thank the volunteers, because it's a lot of people putting a lot of their time into this event.
And a lot of people you're not even going to see, right? There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And it started as like a little kind of backyard event in 2014, and it's grown into what it is now. And definitely those volunteers that have been in it forever, and even anyone new, right? Like, it's a lot of work. And the team is amazing. They're all doing a really amazing job. And we love it though. That's why we do it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So is there a particular trail that the event goes on that is one of your favorites? I know you're from there. You love the hill area, but do you have a particular trail that you yourself love?
We actually, I say we, because I'm actually going to be a trail guide this year.
Cool.
And I broke my truck on it. There's a new one that the trail guides have been working on. It's called Twister. They didn't like Broken Tacoma. Didn't really flow that well. And it's tight. It's technical. It's one of our longer trails, and it's new for this year. And it's just an absolute blast. I've been out running it and making sure that it's ready and stuff like that. Yep. But it's a lot of fun. But then there's some trails that are a lot more mild, and they have like absolutely stunning views and scenery as well. Yeah. But I think one of the new ones for this year is going to be a big hit.
Cool. So you mentioned you got a Tacoma. You guys also got a Jeep. Let's do a quick rundown of those, if you don't mind.
Yeah, totally. So I have a 3rd gen Tacoma. It's a short bed off-road. It's got 2-ish inch lift. It's a combination of Dobinson and what else is it? Elka. I've got Elka stuff in there.
Nice.
And it's got a set of 33s on it. I've got some skinny Falcon Wild Peaks, and it's amazing. I've got it set up as like my off-road rigs or overland rigs. So I've got a tent on it and all that fancy go camping stuff. And I love it. It's really, really great. It serves its purpose. We also have a 4-door JL. It's an eco diesel. It sits on 40s, and it's an absolute beast. It's got all it's all trussed and upgraded suspension, and obviously suspension. What I meant is like all the steering stuff. And it basically goes everywhere we point it. So that's the rock crawler, and then we've got the camper as well.
That's an interesting mix. My Tacoma sounds very similar to yours. I'm running the tall, narrow 33s, the Toyos, but same idea, set up more for overlanding and that as well. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the rocks? Or are you a mud girl? Or you like the overlanding? I guess it's a different thing, right? You got the option of both.
Yeah. I'd love
That's cool.
We do, and that's cool, right? Like we can get in my truck and go anywhere we want to because it's set up to do off-roading, more technical stuff as well. I'd like to call it like a rock lander. But the Jeep, I love the technical aspect of running trails and rock crawling and stuff like that. I love that. But then sometimes I don't want to think about it. So I go off on the weekend and we're just going somewhere cool and exploring around and going somewhere new every day. So yeah, it's cool to have both options actually at our fingertips. So it's pretty neat.
I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, Trisha is as I mentioned off air, Trisha is a Jeeper. So we always have this little Toyota and Jeep thing going back and forth and male and female thing as well, too.
I totally.
A whole other perspective.
Yeah, we have that right in our household.
Yeah, exactly. Are there many other female guides with Jeepapalooza?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. I'm trying to think. There's at least 2 others that are like for sure confirmed. We're always looking for people who know the area and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely fewer of the people that actually run trails and stuff like that. But we do have a few, and other people that know it well and they've been doing it for a long time. And
Yep.
so that's really nice to see.
Well, there's definitely more and more females getting involved. We're seeing that all the time. And even our own guests, we've had, I think you're probably our 4th or 5th female we've had this year, just in this year already. Yeah. So we're definitely seeing a lot more females involved. So if somebody was going to come to the event and this is their first time, they just bought a Jeep off of Comox Valley Dodge and they're like, hey, you got to go to this event. They're like, yeah, we're going to come there. What would you say to them? What would you have for recommendations to prepare them for the event, and maybe what kind of gear or something they should do to their vehicles to make sure that they're ready?
Okay, that's a great question, because we do have people that come and over the years have had brand new vehicles and they don't even know how to put it in 4-wheel drive. And that's okay. That is totally okay. My recommendation would be just to listen really well to your guides, listen to your spotters. We have trails that are appropriate for every level of vehicle, but also every level of experience. Just because you have a Jeep on 40s doesn't mean you take it on an extreme trail. So in terms of gear, like if you're going to be going out, obviously, and doing this outside of an organized event, some basic recovery gear would be a good idea. Going with a friend, going somewhere where someone knows where you are and things like that. But it's going to really depend on your style of exploring and your style of driving as well. So someone who comes to our event with a stock vehicle and maybe they're not super confident, that's okay. We're going to stick you somewhere where it's going to be okay. And if you've got a brand new, fully built Rubicon that you've rolled off the lot, that's okay too. And if you want to push it a little bit, that's okay. Yeah, it's just going to depend on people's comfort level. And our trail guides are really great at making sure that you are in the right group and the trail matches not only your vehicle, but your experience as well. So,
and the only thing I could really add to that too is that if you are a new person, don't be scared to say, I'm new.
Yes.
Because there's so many people that they're scared to say, I'm new, or I'm not sure what I'm doing. There's so many, especially at an event of this size, there's so many people. The 4-wheel drive community is so welcoming, and there's so many people that will help you out. And so don't be scared to say, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm unsure, or this makes me nervous, or I have no experience. And like you say, they'll put you in the right group for that.
And the last thing we want is for someone to hurt their vehicle or themselves, or God forbid, somebody else. We've had people come on runs and they don't even know like how to air down their tires. They're just standing there and everyone else is doing it. When I would encourage those people that don't know what's going on to, like you said, just ask. But if you see someone who you don't maybe think they know what to do or anything like that, just help. No one's above anybody else. And this event is a really safe, really amazing place for people that maybe don't have a lot of experience in that way. But then there's also stuff for those really experienced guys as well to enjoy it, but then to also share some of their experience.
Yeah. There's nothing better than seeing a new person after the first time they've been out wheeling and seeing their excitement on their face. I know, Trish, you see it more often than I do with your organizations you're involved with. And it's, just seeing the smile and people, I can do that. I did that kind of idea, right? Yeah. So they don't realize when they're coming up this hill that their vehicle can actually make it up there, right? So it's a great feeling.
I know the first time we took out our brand new Jeep, things like less than 2 years old. I've been wheeling for quite a long time, but my partner hasn't. And we took this Jeep and the technology was so much more than my old XJ. And we're taking it along some of the trails that we're later involved in for Jeepapalooza. And we're just like blown away. And it's just the trusting yourself and your vehicle. And it's an absolute blast and it's very rewarding.
So hopping back to Jeepapalooza, everybody camps, or most people camp on site, right? On
Correct.
Friday, pull into Friday night camping, and then you got your festivals and stuff like that, as well as there is hotels in the area as well, too, if you want to do that way. So just want to throw that out there that the option is there for camping or non-camping. So this is your 10th year, and you have raised as you mentioned earlier, over $175,000 for BC Cancer. That still blows my mind. That is incredible. And last year was a huge record-breaking year for that, right?
Yeah, we had an incredible amount that we were able to donate to the BC Cancer Foundation. And yeah, we're hoping to get above and beyond as well for this year. Yeah.
But it started off as a small event. It's grown massively over the years, but maybe you can give us a bit of a rundown. 10 years going minus a year or two for COVID, but maybe give us a rundown on how this whole idea started.
Yeah, sure. Jeepapalooza actually started, like you mentioned, in 2014. It's organized by our local Jeep club, which is the Comox Valley Jeep Club. A member named Larry wanted to ride to conquer cancer from Vancouver to Seattle. But the entry fee for registration was $1,500. The Jeep Club organized Jeepapalooza that year, and it was wheeling and camping. And that first year, it actually raised over double the amount of money that Larry needed to register for the Ride to Conquer Cancer. So he was able to participate and donate the rest of the money to BC Cancer, like on our behalf. And it just kept going from there. The next year, we again and again, and the Jeepapalooza 4x4 Association was formed, and now it's this amazing annual event, and we're in our 10th year. So it's pretty amazing. We've continued to donate to the BC Cancer Foundation. It's just such an amazing cause, and the money goes directly to cancer treatment equipment and IV pumps for chemo. And this year, they've committed the money that we're going to be donating to a new ArcCheck machine, which is radiation treatment machinery that's like, they've got one that's outdated and inadequate. It's just really neat. That goes directly to things like treatment equipment and cancer research and immunotherapy research and things like that.
That is absolutely wonderful. As I mentioned, we all know somebody that has had cancer, and it's more common than the cold almost these days. But as I mentioned, my mother is going through it, and BC Cancer has come through. She lives about 3 hours away from the Kelowna Hospital, and they have come up with funding for her to stay at. There's a place right beside the cancer clinic that she has stayed, and it is all free for her through the BC Cancer, as well as all her meals. They cook the meals for her.
That's amazing. Like that.
So
wow.
It just makes it so much easier. And through organizations like yours that have donated money to the BC Cancer Foundation, that we're able to do that, because it just makes it so much easier for her as a 75-year-old lady to do that in a town where she knows nobody, and she doesn't she doesn't know what to do or anything like that. So it is just makes her life so much easier, going right from the machines to the stuff like that. It's a great cause. So definitely appreciate
people have enough stress that they're going under with that. The people who are actually going through it, and the families that are supporting them. Organizations like the BC Cancer Foundation. It's just, again, it's like you said, it's just one less thing for people that have all that on their plate to think about. And
yeah, definitely,
we're really excited about that.
So once again, we're talking with Heather from Jeepapalooza, which is as we've mentioned in the discussion tonight, is a festival made for four-wheel drive community, where they have come together and working together to donate funds for the BC Cancer Foundation. And it really is a festival of 4x4 owners. It's not just Jeep owners. It's not just Toyotas. They even will allow a Land Rover if somebody wants to, but it is a great festival. You can check them out at jeepapaloozabc.com, as well as Jeepapalooza BC on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. And our last question we ask every guest is, what Canadian would you like to listen on the 4x4 Canada podcast?
I think it'd be really cool to hear from Braden and Jenna from Overland Outfitters. I don't know if you guys know those guys, but they just moved locations. Just got back from King of the Hammers, awesome in-house projects and stuff like that. And just generally really awesome down-to-earth people with a lot of knowledge and excitement. And I think it'd be really neat to dive into that a little bit more.
Excellent people. I've been talking to Braden for a bit. We just schedule he's so busy, and I want to get him on, and we just run into scheduling conflicts. But you're right, they're wonderful people. They just moved into their new place in Port Kells like this week almost. As
Did.
we're recording, yeah. I know them because, of course, they're Toyota people, but they have got such a great reputation in the BC or Canadian Toyota market that they do a wonderful job. So I agree 100% with you on that. They're definitely on our hit list for sure.
Yeah. I've met them at a few events and stuff like that. And
Yep.
they're just, like I said, they're just so down to earth, so excited to talk about projects and ideas and things like that. And yeah, it's be neat.
So once again, jeepapaloozabc.com or Jeepapalooza BC on Facebook and Instagram. I won't be able to make it this year, unfortunately, but really looking forward to hearing all the stories and seeing the videos. And I know that everybody that goes loves the event. So hats off to you guys. You guys are keeping up a great cause that you're working with, and you guys are keeping up a really good event, which is hard to do. Want to appreciate you guys. May long weekend in the Comox area. And I recommend taking off a couple days early. If you guys are going to attend the event, take off a couple days early, hit up some of the rest of the stuff on the island. There's lots of stuff to do all over Vancouver Island, and take a couple days extra and check it out. Thanks for joining us tonight, Heather. Really appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been really lovely to talk about it.